I'll probably sound very stuffed up to you during this video. Yes, I have some congestion going on. I do have a cold. So please, bear with me. Michigan played Wisconsin in basketball on Sunday. The Badgers came out with the 77-63 win over Juwan Howard and his struggling Wolverines. Badgers coach Greg Gard called a timeout with 15 seconds remaining in the game, already up 15 points. Juwan Howard had something to say about that. Juwan Howard jabbed his finger into Gard's chest in the handshake line while explaining why the timeout was uncalled for and selfish. Tension started to flare and the coaches are separated. Wisconsin's assistant coach, Joe Krabbenhoft, was in the middle of the brawl. He said something that sent Juwan Howard over the top, and he attempted to grab Krabbenhoft. Punches were thrown between the two teams. You can see Moussa Diabate throwing hands in the center of the scrum. You can also see Jacoby Neath of Wisconsin doing the same. Just a terrible scene in Madison. Juwan Howard was suspended 5 games. That is the rest of the regular season. Luckily for Michigan, he will be back to coach in the Big Ten tournament and will be back for March Madness if they happen to still make it. The real question now is, was the suspension for the right length of time, or was it too long, too short, or did they get it just right? Let's start with why Juwan Howard was actually irritated in the first place. Greg Gard called a timeout with 15 seconds left in the game, although they were up 15 points. He called the timeout because his guys only had 4 seconds to get it past half court to avoid the violation. The problem, he had his reserves in, so he did not trust them to get it past half court in the 4 seconds they had left. So he called the timeout, which reset the clock to 10 seconds to get it past half court. So really, it was a smart decision by Greg Gard. The opposing side thought otherwise. I thought it was not necessary at the moment, especially being a large lead, said Juwan Howard in his post-game press conference. Gard's side of things was, I was not going to put them in the position, them meaning his reserves, where the ball had already gotten knocked out of bounds to have to break a press in 4 seconds. Could Juwan Howard just be angry that his team has been underperforming to what they were hyped up to be preseason? His Wolverines were projected to be a pretty great team with so many young talented stars such as Caleb Houston and Moussa Diabate. They sit now with a 14-11 record. Could it be that Juwan Howard was just angry over his team's performance and was easily angered by the timeout? It's a definite possibility. Juwan Howard is not a bad guy. Many people like him. He's a good coach, and he has a great passion for the game. All that said, it gives him zero excuse to fight with another coach. He's supposed to be an example for his team, not the instigator of brawls, fights, and even shouting matches. So do I think the length of the suspension is too long, too short, or he should have been fired? I think it was right that he was only suspended. I would have suspended him for the whole rest of the season, including the regular season, March Madness if they made it, and the Big Ten tournament. I think he should be counting his lucky stars that he wasn't suspended for longer or even fired. I thought it was a great possibility that he could have just coached his last game in Ann Arbor. But now, due to this, his ice is thin. It will only take one more outburst to break that ice. It doesn't even have to result in a fight. It could just be jawing with an official for extended amounts of time or arguing with an opposing coach. Juwan Howard's got to be careful, or he could seal his own ticket right out of Ann Arbor. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing and liking the video.